Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Wild and Wingless. Tonight I got myself the driver in the V9, Blaine Densley. Blaine, how are you tonight?
Good, thank you. Thanks for having me on. This is cool. I've
Yeah,
been watching
no.
all the episodes leading up to this. Not that I don't watch them anyway; they're always popping up.
Oh,
I
what a
think it's
legend.
super cool. Yeah, super cool what you're doing to try and boost the profile of the category and yeah, get to know all the drivers and stuff too.
Yeah,
Especially leading up to the Australian title, I was like, "Who's this guy? Who's this guy?"
yeah, it changes a lot. I feel it changes because you actually hear how the person talks and you can sort of work out if they're a quiet person in general or if they're a loud person, so you know what you're sort of going to get yourself into. But yeah, I don't know. For me, it works, so we'll keep it going a bit longer. Um, yeah, talking about the Australian title. So the Australian title, I think, for a lot of people outside of Victoria, that's where they really caught on to who this driver of the V9 is. Because you haven't really been around for a long time. You've got a last name that carries its weight in Speedway. But there's a lot of people that don't know about Blaine Densley. You want to give us a brief history on how you got started in motor racing to where you are today in Wingless?
Yeah, sure. So I guess stock standard third generation racer, granddad, great uncles, second cousins, dad, my uncle, my brother, everyone's. Totally grew up around it. Started racing BMX bikes when I was 4 years old because I was the youngest that you could be to race anything, I'm pretty sure. And
Yep.
and that's what we did until I was seven, and old enough to race a go-kart. And that's what we did, me and dad, traveling the country for years and years and years. Um, and only really just sort of stopped in the last 3 or 4 years to sort of make more space for the wingless stuff. And still very much love my go-karting, but don't get to do it anymore. But loving the new challenges of racing on dirt as well.
Yeah. So let's just for those that don't understand, you did not touch dirt. You didn't drive on dirt at all until you hit Wingless. Is that right?
Correct. I think there was a practice day at Bairnsdale one Easter Monday or something like that where I might have been just barely old enough to do a few laps in Adrian's car. But it was raining all day. I was spewing. It was so slippery. I must have done 5 laps for the day. But I remember it being so much fun. I'm like, Dad, this is sick. But no, karting was what we focused on, and that's what we did. And yeah, it wasn't until just more recently we got to jump into wingless.
Yeah. So, as you said, your karting, you focus on. So that was in tar, so completely different to driving a wingless car. So you didn't have the slide, hold the slide on unless you had rainy days, obviously. So how did you adapt? How did you find that adaptation from the kart, which is a very rigid chassis and all the rest, to now driving something that sort of floats around like a boat, and then pulling even tear offs? How did you find doing that?
It was all very alarming, I gotta say. On my first race at Avalon, October 2022, it was a bit of a not a wet day, but from memory, the track was real heavy and like it was a tear off track. And I remember just like cruising around the back for the first heat behind everyone. I got clear visor on, which I also wasn't really used to in the daytime. The go karts are always tinted visors. And then the light went green, and I'm like, it's black. What the heck? I'm like, oh, Jesus, all right, that's what they're for, tear off. And then I was like, going into the corner and trying to brake in a straight line and turn left for the corner, and
Yep,
the thing's going straight. I'm like, what is going on here?
because that's
I'm like,
that's how you drive a tar kart. That's how you drive a tar
I'm like,
kart.
I got out of the car after my first heat race. I think I got lapped a couple times. I'm like, Brad, I don't know if I can do this. This is crazy. And that's when he said, like, just hold it wide open. Like, you got to steer with the rear tire. And I'm like, I understand that, but like, I'm not wired like that. But no, eventually, like heat two probably was a little bit better, but still not great. But in that B main, we drove from the back and got into a transfer spot and passed a few cars, and I sort of really got a feel for it. Then it was like, okay, this is what the car's asking me to do, and it was almost comfortable straight away.
Yep.
Like once I got that feeling of like this is what's got to happen to get around the corner, um, yeah, it was fine.
It's so it's funny how we talk like this. Like I'm come from a tar background in karting too, so I sort of understand the karting side. Believe it, I've never driven a wingless, but I can understand that the karting side to what you've got to play with, and then I've been around wingless long enough to sort of get an idea of the concept of how to drive one. Um, but would you say that like using wet weather skills in karting could transfer over, or there was just absolutely nothing except for a steering wheel, two pedals, and yeah, go for it.
I think the only thing that translated over that helped me was just the racer instinct,
Yep,
like passing, being how to be passed as well is a big
yep,
thing that I think some people kind of struggle with when they're trying to build their skills as a driver. Um, yeah, in the wet, you're sort of like on the front wheels, getting it to push straight, the wash speed off. You do that in this game, and you're going to be
Yep.
in the wall.
Right.
It's
Okay.
nothing really as far as driving. So I was lucky um, through my time in karting as a younger adult, sort of 18 to 25, to drive a few different cars. We're close with the Waihoon and the Rowe family, and they were awesome enough to give me a few laps in a supercar at Winton on an Erebus driver evaluation day, and like I could get in that thing and drive it, and sort of knew what to expect at the next corner. Whereas when I jumped in the wingless for the first time, I had no idea. I was like, what is going on? I've only got to turn one way, and it's really
Yeah.
hard.
I mean, if you're sitting on the hill, untrained person sitting on the hill, this is easier. Yeah. But
Yeah, but
no.
no, once
Okay.
once I got a feel for it, it was all okay. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how I go back in a go-kart now. I don't think I'd fare very well with some of the habits I've developed as a wingless driver, but yeah, still love the karting. Still helping out a few people in karting. My brother still races
Yeah.
go-karts, so I still
Nice.
get to go and hang out at the track and love it.
Yeah. Cool. So, okay, let's talk about wingless for you now. So, what is it about wingless you enjoy?
Well, I mean, probably wasn't a category that I had my eye on as
Hmm.
a race fan, if I'm honest. Always sort of followed Speedway, but my dad was in modified productions and sedan racing and stuff, so you know that pretty well, and then you see the sprint cars and late models and stuff in the magazines and on TV as a kid. Like that's sort of where my eyes were, but when I got the chance to hop in one, I was blown away with how cool they were and how competitive the category was.
Yep. Yep.
It is a serious national level category, and it is every bit as competitive as it was at the top level of national karting in Australia.
Hmm.
And I'd back the drivers at the front of this field against anyone in any division. Like I think it's seriously tough to do well in these races. The racecraft at the front with the dudes that are doing a good job is unreal, and easily comparable to the dudes that I was racing in karting at the top level in Australia and New Zealand. And I got the chance to race against some European dudes and stuff as well over the course of racing KZ2. Um, yeah, it's intense. It's really cool. That's what I love about it.
Yep. Yep. No, I have to admit it's one of those things. Exactly what you said at the very start of that. So many drivers who I speak to who had a pathways, they come through into wingless. None of them ever thought we're going to go race wingless because it just I don't know. Maybe the reputation it had at the time or something like that. Just no one really thought about that as we'll go there, and it is as competitive as you talk top level karting or Formula Ford or even like sprint cars. Really, like they are getting up
Yeah,
there to
and
the
I
point where
think the
they're all
cars
competitive.
and the cars and the competition have obviously evolved over
Oh
time as well. So, like everything, times change and it gets tougher and tougher to stay competitive and run at the front of any field in any category,
yeah,
really,
yeah.
motorsport.
They're
You
not
want to
wood
do it.
ducks here no more. No, not wood
No.
ducks. Hey, so what's been your highlight this season?
Poor, this season's been a big season. So this is the first season that we've had our own car. Previously, the last two seasons I'd been driving Brad and Christine Foster's car, which was awesome. I wouldn't have even got a start in the sport if it weren't for them giving me that opportunity. That led to some interest with some of my personal sponsors from karting, and were like, how can we get involved and how can we do more of this? And that led to the purchase of a car, and we developed a team. And I was just saying to Dad, this time last year was when we got our car, and it's been pretty much 12 months since we started building what is now our race team. We didn't have a wheel spanner this time last year, so
Wow.
we've had to. It was full throttle to get ready for the start of the season,
Yep.
and then yeah, obviously over the season we've had to you know arm ourselves with all the gear that we've needed. It's hasn't been hard, hasn't been easy, but we've had a lot of really good help. It's made it a lot easier, and yeah, I feel happy about going into next season now, knowing that we've sort of done the hard work and getting everything geared up. But a series highlight, honestly, would just be being able to do it as a team.
Yep.
Um, going to our first race meeting, not knowing what to expect, and winning at Warrnambool, and being competitive straight off the bat was a credit to Greg and Adrian and the you know the philosophy that they built with their car with Dave Bent Bells and driving.
Yep.
Obviously they were competitive towards the end of their time in the wingless category, and we've been able to pretty much pick up the baton and run with it and be pretty competitive everywhere we've been this year. Um, yeah, it's all been a highlight. It's been really fun.
You've had a good season. I mean, from running across you guys over at SummerSlam at the start of just the year even. Did you do all the rounds of SummerSlam?
Yeah, we did. We didn't. We did the heat races at Lang and then
Yep.
packed it up after that. But yeah, we did all the rounds of
Okay, so,
SummerSlam.
so it must have been Lang where the after the final or something, because I recall you guys on nights two. Oh, yeah, 2, 3, 4. But number one, I thought I saw you, but I wasn't sure. But
Yeah, we made an appearance.
I couldn't. I tell you what, I walked past the car and those bright, brand new world mud covers with the bling bling shining in the eyes. I thought, far out, they spent some money here. But no, I thought you've over the course of that, plus what we saw at the Australian title, all the rest. You did some of the rounds. You did some WoW series too, didn't you?
Yeah, we did Simpson and
Yeah,
Mount Gambier. We did
yeah.
2 nights back to back.
You did pretty well there too. So I've been seeing your name getting more and more sort of as the year's gone on. So I think you've had a great sort of breakout season. The Australian title at Mildura, that was your first Australian title, wasn't it? For a
Yeah,
wingless.
for wingless racing. Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so you would have raced Australian titles in karting. How did it
yeah. A
stack up?
few. Similar. I mean, top level in anything is going to be challenging, right? You got all the best dudes from all corners of the country, and in karting a lot of the time internationally as well.
Yeah,
But yeah, that Aussie title, just seeing everyone that obviously since I've got into wingless racing, I've quickly caught up on who runs good where and like who are the guys to beat sort of thing. Like to see the dudes from each state come together at one race. Like I remember that practice that we had on the first day there and seeing all the cars lined
yeah,
up in the staging lanes and just thinking like, God damn, like I hope I don't suck this weekend because there's a lot of fast guys here. And to run as well as we did there was super rewarding for us, and yeah, definitely gave us a lot of confidence moving forward. Not that we hadn't had a good season leading up to the Aussie title, but it was good to just you know get in with the biggest group of wingless racers that as far as I'm aware has ever been.
yeah,
And that track was gangster.
yeah.
God, I love that
That was
place.
so
That
good.
was awesome. I
Yep.
was sort of spewing. I was sort of, well, I guess I can't complain because we had really good heat races, but my heat race was always quite early on, and
Mhm.
I had like juiced up racetracks, and
Ah, yes.
the track evolution was really cool. Like it slicked off awesome,
Yep.
but it was just after we'd been on the track. So I was like, I want to have a go on a slick track around here and like try and get up and run around the top and stuff like that. So I think that was probably our only downfall was just me getting up to speed on the slicker track in the feature. It was by far the slickest track I'd had, and the first time where I'd had to really move around. Even our prelim feature was still quite gassed up
Yep.
and fast. So, it started off strong, sort of faded a little bit, and then at the end probably was as quick as anything else. At the end of the race, it sort of started coming back to us. But yeah, it's all part of the learning. We can't complain with the result. We had an awesome debut Aussie title, and I can't wait to hopefully get to Perth next year.
Oh wow! So you've already started thinking about it. There you
Yeah,
go.
hopefully.
Nice. No,
There we go.
I thought you drove really well. I was keeping an eye on you, like as I said. Another thing too, I got to say, that car, that car is one of the nicest cars out there in the field at the moment. That V9, like it is just
Thank you.
incredible. First time I really laid eyes on it was at Mount Gambier.
Gambia,
There you
yeah.
go. First time I laid eyes on it. So I just to me, yeah, the way that car's sort of dressed up and the colours you chose, all the rest, it to me, I like it. So
Thanks.
very
No, it means a lot because that's what I do. That's my job. The 27 custom graphics is me. Like the design, the wrap on that car is all from me, and it's important for me to represent all the partners and brands on that car professionally because they all do a lot for me. Fabcon Gas and Watermains especially, I wouldn't even have a car if it weren't for them. So yeah,
no,
it's
like
important.
as I said, I've learned so much
Well,
about you. I remember seeing the name 27 on a go kart pod pod kit back in like 2014. And I'm thinking, who's 27? And then
Yeah,
like,
a lot of people can't read it. It was sort of a interesting, cool, quirky thing I did was
I thought it
replace
was
the
good.
first two letters with the numbers, but
Yeah.
it probably hasn't been smart moving forward. A lot of people, it sort of makes it a bit hard to
No, well,
read and
that
a bit
puts
hard
me in that
to
small
follow.
category of the smart people who worked it out. So
Yeah,
we'll leave.
I'm
No,
quite
but
stupid.
I
All
thought it
right.
was really good. I thought it was great. But yeah, so well done to what you do. I mean, a lot of the
Thank you.
stuff behind you, you've helped design a lot of that stuff. You've got a very good eye to detail. So yeah, anyone looking for a guy to look after your sticker work or design your car, this is a man to speak to. Huge fan, but I did like watching your car at Mildura, and I kept an eye on you as the nights went on, and all the rest. I thought you did a great job. It's the first time Australian title for someone new to the game, dude. I think you hit every mark that you could hit. Like just
Thank you.
every time you went out there, moving forward, it was good. So how many racetracks have you raced on now?
A handful. It hasn't been many. Avalon. Then we went to Nyora a few times out near me, and
Yeah.
then Brad took me to Sydney. I raced at Sydney, did a back-to-back night there, and I've
Oh
done
yeah, that would have been back when like last season. So
yeah last season. No, the season before.
season four, it was like a Friday night and a Saturday night.
Yeah, I think it was like New South Wales state title for the sprint cars or something from
Yeah,
memory. We're
yeah.
up there
Were you
helping
there for
them
that
out.
one?
Yeah,
Oh
it was
wow.
like
Okay.
reasonably early on. I think the track was still. I can't even remember. I think it was still reasonably new at that stage.
Yeah. Well, I know we didn't wear tires like we wear now, but yeah,
No, it was awesome.
yeah,
But
it was good then.
yeah, I'd say less than 8 tracks, I would guess,
All right.
off
Well,
the
what's your favourite racetrack then?
top. I love Warrnambool.
Warrnambool?
Warrnambool is super cool. Like, I think just what that place is with the classic and how big that place is almost as big as the sport itself. And
Yeah,
like, I don't think I'll ever forget like rolling out down the hill onto the track for the first time and just going, holy shit! Like, we're at the bull here. This is
yeah.
sick.
You run
I think.
you run the fence there or what?
Yeah, been in the fence there as well. In a B main at SummerSlam after we were leading the first heat and broke something in the drive line and didn't finish, and then we come from the back of heat two and won it.
Yep.
So that put us somewhere towards like I think it was sixth in the B, and I was just like, all I got to do is just finish where I start, and I'll get in. It'll be all right. And then yeah, kind of got tangled up and messed up, and got the wall and got past, and old mate spun out and had to spin to
Uh,
miss him, and that was our night over in the B main. But yeah, Warrnambool definitely a favourite. I love Avalon too. Just I think as my earliest or probably my only memory of watching my dad racing
yep.
was at Avalon. I was
Really?
sort of obviously just old enough to remember like what was going on, and that's dad. He's gone past, and I just remember that. So racing at Avalon was really cool as well. It's probably a favourite just for the nostalgia of the place, I guess.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. Been your favourite moment in the sport in wingless?
Favorite moment in the sport. I don't know. The season honestly has been pretty much a highlight. Like we haven't really had any huge downers. So yeah, I don't know. Just so lucky to be here in general that it's hard to pick a highlight. It's every time I'm at the racetrack, I know how lucky I am to be there because I didn't get to do it for a long time. I was sort of just doing kart racing and was always curious about doing other things, but that's just where we were in that time, and that's what we enjoyed, but that's also all we could sort of justify doing as well. So yeah, to be in the position I am now to be able to go racing, yeah, is a highlight.
No, nice, nice. Well, I said it before. The nine. Any significance there? Because I'm taking 27 was your
Yeah.
racing number in carts, and I've seen that.
So 27 was my dad, my great uncle Greg,
Yep.
uh, uh, Lauren was 27. Um, my uncle was 72 and my granddad was 72, so they had it
Oh
backwards. But
right, switch
everyone else
out.
has
Yeah,
been
yeah.
27. I had 27 all the way through karting and thought I'd have it for the rest of my life, but got a rude shock when I got to wingless and got told I couldn't have it. So when I was picking a number, I saw nine, and there's three nines on the car, and three nines is 27,
There
and
you
two
go.
plus seven is nine. So
I
I've
knew
done
there
my
would
best.
have to be something good with that
I
nine. I knew it when it came to
tried
you, the way you are.
tried my best to get it. Even tried to buy it. Even tried to
Really?
poach it. Yeah, even offered sticker jobs and everything. I wanted it like bad because it's just the family history and all that sort of stuff is just super cool to me. But yeah, justified
Wow.
with 9. It's treating me well, so I'll keep it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a nice looking 9 too. So, no, that's good. I had a feeling you would have a story behind it, except for, oh, that's the one the car came with. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
no.
I knew it was going good. Hey,
Well,
look,
we got
man,
the car off Peter Logan. He was number 98, so I guess we've kept half of
yeah,
it.
get tough. Just pulled off the 8.
Yeah,
Yeah. It wasn't a bad car you got off Logie either. Pretty quick, but yeah, God knows what you guys have done, and Adrian's done to the thing. Your dad to
he's
get
a
it
bit of a
going.
mad
So
scientist. Yeah,
yeah,
Adrian, he loves
I could only imagine what happens when no one else is there. Just the
it.
hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, look, hey, I appreciate you coming on the show. Give me the time. I know we've spoken a lot about doing this show together, so thanks for being patient. I'd like to give everyone an opportunity before they go, just to thank their partners and sponsors who helped them get to racing. Like you said before, you have some good sponsors who have helped you, mate. So the floor's all yours.
Yeah, so first and foremost, I have to thank Brad and Christine Foster for giving me a go in their car in the VX20. I had a lot of fun driving that car and wouldn't have got a start in the sport if it weren't for them. So thanks to them. And then Brian and Fiona Rowe from Fabcon Gas and Water Mains for getting us or helping us get set up with our own team. Um, and then we've got Victorian Freight Specialist. So Chriso's been a sponsor of mine since karting and has been an awesome help right through. You got Tristo from Neuropower for his support. He's invested a bit into the sport. He sponsored the Victorian title at Portland only last season.
Mm.
So he's making waves and trying to help and get people supporting motorsport, and I think that's really cool. I got to thank Steve Edney from Profile Engineering, who's helped me a lot with some fabrication work and stuff on the trailer, and he came to Mildura with us and checked out the race, and he was up there camping for the week and thought that was pretty cool.
He
So just
camped.
yeah, caravan park,
Oh, I
like
was
he
gonna
didn't.
say camp. That was too hot
Yeah.
to camp. Far out. It was too hot.
No. It was yeah. But no, just to have everyone doing it as a big group, I suppose, and
Yep.
everyone sort of feels part of the team, and everyone that's on the car is sort of there because they're part of it. Financially, but also just as part of the family too. Like everyone sort of hangs out after the races around the car, and you know doesn't feel like work when we're all working on it, and it's just a really cool environment, and yeah, happy as.
No, that's good. That's good. All right. So what do you got planned coming up for the rest of the season?
I think we're pretty much done for this season. We sort of had a few plans on doing a few more races, but just still getting sort of set up properly with the trailer and stuff like that. So we'll probably just take a bit of a break. Not the season's just about over anyway. There's really not much to do. But yeah, get set up for next season and go again, and hopefully do all the races that we did this season again next season with SummerSlam and a couple WoW series. Hopefully, WoW series goes again, and and then hopefully, fingers crossed, we can go over to Perth and do some races over there and lead up to the Aussie title, and that'll be another season in books, hopefully.
Nice, nice. All right. Well, thank you very much, Blaine, for your time tonight, everyone. That's Blaine Densley. I'll put down his racing page for everyone to go check him out and give it a like. But yeah, mate, thank you very much for joining us. Stay tuned, guys. We're gonna have some more videos coming up very shortly. Till then, take care.
Thank you. See you guys.